joining us. This is part of 350 Presents, and the topic today is Rethinking Packaging Sans Plastic. And before we begin the webinar, Rethinking Packaging Sans Plastic, we will start with a breathing exercise, a meditation guided by our very own Guadalupe Garcia, in order to help us connect and appreciate our Mother Earth and have awareness in our actions.
I would like to guide a very brief breathing practice, which you can, just experience it by yourself while you're at home and before going to sleep, or when you wake up, before going into action, just a few minutes to take contact with the place you are and the like the here and now, but the place and your body and your breathing. So just to start, just close your eyes and find a very comfortable position sitting. And the first thing is to make contact with the support you're sitting in. So no matter the shape of the support you are sitting or lying, this support is always the earth. Being a chair, a cushion, whatever shape it has, you are always supported by the earth. So when you make contact with your support, drop all the weight from your shoulders down into the ground. Relax the palm of your hands, relax the tension on the joints of your fingers. Relax the sole of your feet, your toes. And relax the muscles from your abdomen. So you will feel, as you relax your muscles and you drop the weight down, you will feel your breathing happening spontaneously and without any effort. So don't hold anything from your abdomen to expand with the breathing in and out. And just realize that it's always happening. You will probably feel lighter and spacious inside you. So we're gonna take a deep breath in and let your abdomen expand and inflate like a balloon, taking all this breathing into the pelvic area. And we will exhale through the mouth. Feeling how the abdomen de-inflates, contracts, naturally. And very gently, we will open our eyes. And this is a very short breathing meditation, which can make a difference on your day and the difference on your night if you do it as you wake up or as you go to bed. So I highly recommend you to try it, to experience.
Thank you, Guadalupe, for that. I think we're all relaxed and ready. And
Yes.
now we'll go with our first speaker, Diana.
Hello and good morning. So in the next few minutes, we're going to reflect on a normal day in our everyday life. And we're going to find how often we consume goods that are packaged in plastic. So say, for example, I take a look at my bathroom toiletries that I use and consume in a day, and I will find that most of them are packaged in plastic, whether it's a plastic bottle or a plastic tube. Say, for example, toothpaste, mouthwash, shampoo, conditioner, hand creams, hairspray, hair gel, liquid soap, deodorant, they're all packaged in plastic. I go to my kitchen and I open my refrigerator looking for breakfast items. And I'm going to find the same thing, the orange juice, the milk, the bread, the butter, jelly. They're all packaged in some sort of plastic, sometimes a plastic bottle, a plastic container, a plastic bag, but plastics. If I want to include waffles or pancakes, same thing, even though they come in a carton box, inside they're packaged in plastic. If instead I want to have scrambled eggs, the eggs also come in a styrofoam egg carton, they're called, but it's a styrofoam container. All other items in my kitchen, rice, beans, nuts, dry fruits, they're also packaged in plastic. Even fresh vegetables are packaged in plastic, and some of them are packaged individually, wrapped in a plastic film. But before I leave my kitchen, I want to take a look at my household cleaners and detergents. And I also find that they're packaged in plastic. Also, I wanted to mention in the refrigerator, in the freezer, we find that beef, chicken, and sometimes fish are also packaged in either a plastic tray or styrofoam tray and then wrapped in plastic film. So later in the day, I may receive a shipment of an online order. And then I find that in addition to the plastic that my item may be wrapped in or packaged in, I would find other plastic in my box, such as styrofoam pellets, styrofoam panels, air-filled bags, and all of these are put in an envelope. Most likely that envelope is going to be plastic. So at this point, I have given you a lot of examples of things that I come across the day. Nevertheless, this is only the tip of the iceberg because I haven't talked about single-use plastics. Single-use plastics are the culprit of the plastic pollution in our planet. And in this category, we find plastic water bottles, soft drink bottles, plastic cups, plastic straws, also takeout food containers that are now on the rise. They're made of styrofoam or some other plastic. With my takeout order comes the plastic cutlery that is packaged in a plastic envelope. All of this is given to me in a plastic bag. So if I stop for a moment and I look around my day, my actions, I say, where is all this plastic gonna go? Because I know that plastic is not compostable, which means that it doesn't decompose into an organic material and returns to the earth as soil. So where does all this plastic go? And now to help us answer that question, in the next segment, we are going to watch a trailer of a film, The Story of Plastic.
We're back with an alarming new report that came out this past week on the state of the world's oceans.
32% of plastic packaging ends up littering the environment. 40% is sitting in a landfill somewhere. 14% is incinerated. 14% is recycled. But only 2% is effectively recycled.
Downhill from the prison, downhill from the mall, downhill from the factory farm and the hospital.
It's not reasonable at all that we continue to live like this.
Downhill from the border wall, downhill from everywhere, downhill from all you see. The ocean is downhill from gravity.
About 8 million metric tons go into the ocean every year. That's the equivalent of one city garbage truck dumping a load of plastic into the ocean every minute of every day.
This is the story of plastics. It is fossil fuels finding a new form and finding a new place to flow through the economy.
The surge of attention to plastic pollution is pretty striking.
Think of the ocean as yours. Do you think about it at all?
I believe we're at a tipping point right now. I've seen more policy change globally in the last 8 months than I've seen in 20 years of my career. Because not only are governments getting pissed off, but companies are recognizing they can't get away with it anymore.
I don't think they can keep on tricking people forever.
If there's enough interest, we're planning to have a screening of the film. And now, without further ado, we'll have our keynote speaker, Pam from Verde Market.
So good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me here today. I don't know if you know what is Verde Market, but basically one of the founders of Verde Market, my business partner is called Martha Balaguer. And together we create this store where you basically can bring all your containers, all these containers that we're looking into these images, and they can get refilled. Why did we create Verde Market? Exactly because of the type of images that we were observing in the last video. But I was not observing those images. I was looking into my trash can, just like our first speaker was talking in the first place. It was amazing the amount of trash that I was generating, my business partner was generating. So we started doing some research regarding what can we do with all these containers, because they were in perfect shape and we were keeping them. There was no sense on throwing away a bottle that was in good shape. Why should I throw something that is in good shape? So basically, we start doing some research about recycling. When we start looking into the process of recycling, we realize how recycling is basically a myth. First, it requires tons of energy, tons of water. Remember, the earth has just one amount of water. The water is not reproducing all the time. We're using the same water one time after the other. So if you think that the water is using to be recycled, I think there can be better things to do with the water, right? Basically, in the United States, there is no correct infrastructure to recycle. There is none. We used to sell all our trash to China. They are not getting it anymore. So we're having already in our backyard, right there, not in the backyard of China. By the way, time I looked for China, it was in the same earth. So exporting the trash to another country is really not a solution. What we do here, at least in Miami, that we have a blue bin, which is not a magical bin. Everything that we put in there ends in a place that it's gonna be sorted. It's not gonna be recycled. I know a lot of people that they come to the store and they tell me, oh, but I recycle. Well, I get very interested. How do you recycle? Please tell me the process of how are you recycling? And they tell me, yes, I put everything on the blue bin. Okay. So I tell them that is not recycling. That is separating stuff to make their life easier. We don't recycle in the United States. Zero. Recycling is not a solution. And we cannot wait. At least I couldn't wait until 2030, until 2025, until one of these corporations decided to change. I decide that we were going to be the change. It doesn't need to be in 2021, doesn't need to be in 2030. It can be today. All our actions matter. In this time, we have realized, and I hope that one of the good things that come out of this situation we're living nowadays is that if we come together, we can make a change. We all seen how the streets are without traffic. We all seen how many companies have gone to bankruptcy because for being the lockdown. We all seen that if people want to make a change can be done. So basically, that's why we create Verde. We believe in our actions, and we want to give a solution today for the trash problem. So when you come to Verde Market, you will find a store where you can bring all your existing containers, and you will find more than 300 products available for you to refill your products. You're gonna find house cleaning products, personal hygiene products, spices, oils, vinegars, nut butters, grains, beans, superfoods, kombucha, ginger beer. We even have wine on tap. The most of the household products and shampoo are full of chemicals, so you can be safe. They're good for the environment and good for your family. We also have laundry detergent, multi-purpose cleaner. We have a natural oxy boost. We have dish powder for the machine, Castile soap, laundry detergent, dish soap. So the objective is that eventually you could have as many possible products available in the market refill. You can use the same container for years. And that's our objective, to save some bottles from landfills, from rivers that eventually they end in the oceans. It's not I'm telling you, you saw on the video, you just have to go to the beaches here at Miami and see the amount of trash that we're generating day by day. Verde has been in business for 2 years. I'm very, very excited. Just May 26th, our first store was open. We opened the second one 4 months ago. It was a perfect timing for all this moment. The people in Miami has been amazing. I believe that we were not educated like this. None of us were educated to think on how not to generate waste. So it has been a big process about re-educating our community. But I can share 2 amazing facts. So far, with Verde, we have saved 3,282 dish soap bottles, 2,080 laundry jugs. And if I keep going with the list of the bottles and jars that we have saved, you will be amazed of how much we can do together as a community. We have 2 locations, one at Midtown, very close to Brayman BMW, 2328 North 2nd Avenue, and the other one is in South Miami, close to Sunset, 7374 Southwest 57th Avenue. If you go into our website, verdemarketonline.com, you can see and you can find our address here in Miami. You can find Verde on Instagram under @Verde_market. There should be a lot of Verdes everywhere because there's no reason why this type of consuming shouldn't be the new normal. I'm looking into a co-op model where all our employees and possible clients can get benefited of the expansion of Verde. So more than franchising, I believe in a co-op model where we all can be benefited. We open from 10:30 to 7 p.m. every day, except for Sundays that we close at 6 p.m. You can come to the store and we have all our ingredients listed. You can check them into EWG. You can come in, download the ingredients, you can check them, and you're gonna see how good products they are. And our products are more affordable. But for us, the most important part is to have a safe formula in a sustainable package, and we always match the commercial products. We are the only one in Miami having this mission, and we're doing good, and we're gonna keep doing it. I invite you to come to the store to compare prices, because I know that's a sensible thing. We are aware of that, and that's why we're still on the market. So I invite you to rethink about how we can make changes. Sustainability can be overwhelming if we try to change the whole world. But if we start changing our own acts, we are gonna make a change. So thank you very much. I hope to see you soon with all your containers, and let's start making a change one bottle at a time. I know that together we're gonna make a change. Thank you very much, and thank you for supporting Verde.
Thank you, Pam. There's another question.
I see on the Instagram that you have deliveries and you sell fruits. From where you have all the fruits?
That's a great question. Actually, I try to support as much as possible local farmers. We have a partnership with a local farm that it's called Empower Farms, which is organic. They take care of our chickens. So the eggs that we provide to the clients are organic, they are free range. We never kill the chickens. They don't have hormones and are part of this organic farm. I try to source as much as possible from Empower Farms. Also, there's another local farm. And also, some of our products are not organic regarding fruit. And I'm supporting a guy that used to distribute fruit for restaurants, and his business came down. He came to offer us fruit, and I thought, like, okay, although it's not organic, I want to support him. He's also losing business, and there are good bananas, good apples, good lemons.
I see there's one more question, so I was wondering if there's like a database of businesses like Verde. And
yes, there is a web page that is called Zero Waste Home, I think so. It's from Bea Johnson. She's basically, we call her the mother of Zero Waste movement. And if you go into her web page, she has a map of all the zero waste stores in the country. So she has done a great job putting all together. ZeroWasteHome.com, I think it's called.
Perfect. And there's also something called B Corporations, and what they do is that they certify sustainable and community oriented with values of social justice, and it's global also.
There's two types of labels, the BCP and the B Corporations. It's like all the rating firms. If you pay them with money, they'll get you rated. So the BCP, I think it's a better label.
Okay, that's good to know. Well, thank you so much, Pam, and thank you for all the great questions. Now we're gonna have our speaker, Guadalupe, introduce us to how you can be an aware consumer and vote with your purchases.
Yes, so, well, I have to say that I am a big fan of Verde Market, and I admire what Pam and Martha are doing. It takes a lot of courage, and it takes a lot of passion, which is what we need now to make a change. I want to talk about voting, because we tend to identify voting with the political scene, but it's important to become aware that our choices are votes, and are very powerful votes. Our everyday choices are voting for something, and we're supporting whatever we're buying. So what does that mean? If I buy from big corporations, I'm voting not just for the corporation, but for that kind of system. We know that it's destroying the planet. So instead of just buying, as Pam was saying, without a presence, because we need fast things, cheap things on the go, or in the other way, we're also voting for a sustainable practice and for local producers who are taking care of the planet and who are making a change. I was just reading the news last week, and I found, for example, the case of Johnson & Johnson. They just announced that they will stop selling the body powder made with talc in the US and Canada, citing a decline in customer demand amid safety concerns about one of its most famous products. Lawsuits from cancer patients claiming that the talc was contaminated with asbestos. So, for example, Johnson & Johnson had to go through a lot of lawsuits, and it kept going. And it was until the decline on the demand that they finally discontinued a product. So every time we decide not to buy something, it will eventually make a change. As we say in Spanish, we're holding the pen's handle. We are in charge of this change. It's not something that will be coming from the outside, but it's going to happen when more and more people get conscious of their choices. So to me, it's very important to emphasize this. Every time we buy, we are voting for something. Thank you.
Thank you, Guadalupe. So now we'll have Catherine also from the Consumer Awareness Working Group with 350, and she's going to present other ways to take action to reduce plastics.
Hi, good morning. Lupe's argument was very strong. We vote by what we choose. We're putting our money behind our mouth and our vote. And not only is it just an individual choice, maybe a quick stop to the store because we didn't have time to organize ourselves to go to Verde Market or somewhere else. However, as she very aptly said, we're also choosing and voting for the corporation that puts that whole system in place and has made us dependent on it. So just to let you know that this webinar is sponsored by 350 South Florida, which is an environmental action organization that is part of national and international 350.org. One of their major platforms is the reduce and get rid of fossil fuels. But we chose to do this webinar because we see that fossil fuels are those big industries of big corporations, and how we're going to stop them, right? We think it requires a combination. So we luckily discovered a bill that was introduced into Congress this year in February, inching along slowly, and probably you could say not even at all, but it's got a lot of support and a lot of impetus. 350 would like to suggest that we couple that sort of consciousness and action with our individual actions that we've been talking about up to right now. So the bill is called Break Free from Plastic Pollution Act of 2020. The major authors of this are Representative Alex Lowenthal from Southern California and Senator Tom Udall from New Mexico. There are 8 senators who have signed on to this bill and 67 more representatives from the House of Representatives. There is the beginnings of a lot of support. There are a lot of organizations that have also supported it as an organization. And just to let you know, yes, yes, we will be putting a lot of information in the chat. So we're organizations also supporting the bill. So the bill is 5485. That's the House bill number. The Senate bill has a different number, but this will get you there. But there's 5 main tenets, and you'll see that this is very, very different bill. It's very comprehensive. It's huge. It's huge. It's huge. So firstly, it requires that the producers of plastic take responsibility for their waste. The bill would shift the burden of waste collection and management from local governments and taxpayers to the manufacturers of items, what we've been talking about, packaging, containers, food service products, paper, and they would all be charged with designing and funding recycling systems. Secondly, it establishes a nationwide beverage container refund system. Some of us from the old days remember when you went to get you bought a bottle at the store, you paid 2 cents, 3 cents. If you took the bottle back, you got the money back, that sort of thing. But it puts an amount of 10 cents per a beverage container refund system. So that's a beverage of any type that would be charged an extra 10 cents that could be refunded when you return the item. Thirdly, it phases out most polluting single-use plastics. Starting in June 2022, highly polluting items, plastic bags, styrofoam, plastic stirrers, and cutlery would be phased out. Straws would only be available by request, and the bill would introduce a nationwide plastic bag fee. I know, I travel a lot and stay for extended times in Chile. The first time I went to the store unprepared without my bag, all of Chile has banned single-use plastics. So it mandates a minimum recycled content. So right now, you do get plastic bags that are manufactured partially by decomposed plastics. However, once that's done, it can't be done again. But the mandate would be to have the required products to be made with increasing percentages of recycled material. So plastic bottles would need to be made of 25% recycled material by 2025 and 80% by 2040. Now, I know that all the climate scientists say we don't have that long to wait, but that's not the only part of this bill. And it considers environmental justice. It would prohibit the US from shipping waste to countries, which we talked about, that cannot manage it. Would also only be able to export waste to countries in the Organization for Economic Cooperation and only with their consent. It puts a pause of up to 3 years on the granting of permits for facilities that create plastic so that the Environmental Protection Agency can update its safe air and water standards for these facilities. If you represent an organization, we have a link where you can ask your organization, as an organization, to petition for this bill. So again, working on all fronts, so to speak. So the other thing that I want to share is there is an organization called Beyond Plastic. They're located up in northern New York, and they're doing excellent work. They've been doing a lot of supporting of this movie, The History of Plastic. So that's an opportunity we have if there is enough of us and of our friends and family that we can pull together a sizable amount. The director of this organization can actually then conduct a webinar discussion group for us after the film. The film is about an hour and a half, so that's why we didn't put it into our current format that we have right now. And then the other thing is that Beyond Plastics is sponsoring a panel on June 19th, where the two major authors of this bill are going to be speaking along with other people. And we will provide the link for that. It's free. Anybody can sign up and listen to this panel. I believe that there's action going on different fronts. And if we are informed on them and we utilize them all, we can make an impact. It's just like our colleague here, Diana, said, when you build a tunnel, start at one side and the other people start at the other side, and you meet in the middle and you get it done.
Some stores don't allow you to use your own bags now. They want you to use the ones they have there. That happened to me at Target the other day. Completely got me off guard. Next time I go there, I'm going to say, I don't want to use plastic. Just put the items in my shopping cart, and I'll take my shopping cart to my cart and I'll put them in my trunk. I don't have to take the plastic. And I think if I do that, I'm making an even stronger statement that I don't want to use plastic and not use it. If I go to Verde, I can take my own bag and my own containers and just refill and avoid all this plastic mess.
Same with the produce. I'm doing exactly the same at the supermarket. Sometimes they don't like it, but they can't say no. I just put the produce in my cart and then it goes to the paper bag, but I don't bring plastic bags home.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing.
When we first were designing this webinar, we did think about what would we recommend as an action as opposed to the information we provided from Verde and Pam and Diana. But there have been efforts to do things with Publix, and they're very resistant. That Publix was intransigable. And so we searched around for an action that we could recommend, and we ended up with a recommendation that we support this bill.
Thank you. Diana?
Yes, well, I just wanted to thank everyone for listening to us and for taking new ideas on how to stop plastic. And we're working, all of us together, and hopefully we'll get there and we'll be free from plastics. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for all our amazing speakers. Thank you, Pam, for being here and for all the amazing work you do, the Consumer Awareness Group. And thank you, everyone, for participating and listening.